Hello and welcome back to Suspended Fanimation. I'm your host, Bithoulkas, and this is Saturday Morning Blast Off. Welcome, everybody. Um, Sorry I'm a bit late. That's what happens when you're trying to look for a fucking MGM logo and there's 50,000 MGM logos and, you know, trying to put it into the thumbnail there and it's just not happening. So, anyway, that's behind the scenes stuff that you really don't care about. Welcome, everybody. Let's take a look. I'm going to do some of the lesser news first. And then, actually, let me take care of some business first. If you like what you see here, like, share, and subscribe. Also, if you want to know when I'm going live again next, you can hit the bell down below. It's a 50-50 chance of YouTube actually notifying you when I'm online. Best thing to do is go to suspendedfanimation.com. Take a look at the schedule there. And it's also my Facebook page as well. Speaking of Facebook, there is a Facebook group chat which you guys can, post stuff, talk amongst yourselves, all that kind of good stuff. There's also a Twitter, there's an Instagram, and I also have a Patreon page. So let's get to this. Like I said, I'll do some of the lesser news first and get some people rolling in, and then we will hit the bigger stuff. So in April, Netflix has announced a 3D animated Ghost in the Shell series. They actually released a little trailer for it, and it looks pretty much exactly like the animated movie. So I'm surprised by that, to tell you the truth. I thought they would maybe do a little bit different stuff. So who knows? But yeah, in April they're going to be doing the animated Ghost in the Shell movie. Hey, Stanley Tweedle. Actually, Ghost in the Shell series. I take that back. Ghost in the Shell series, not movie. Hey, Mufanobi, you're in here as well. Nice. So, and Viking Bitch. Yeah. No problem, Viking Bitch. Just don't text and drive, as they say, as everyone says, don't text and drive. Not good. So, I'll probably watch it just to see. I mean, it's been a while since I've actually watched the series, the Ghost in the Shell series. I don't remember it. And the movie was god awful. The movie really sucked. So, yeah. Speaking of suckage, um, uh, Picard, the first episode for the new Picard series, the CBS All Access one, is online. It is on YouTube for a limited time. You can watch the first one for free without having to go through CBS All Access. I watched it last night, and good God, it was fucking horrible. It's got a good premise to it. It's got a interesting story. The problem is your writers that you have. The writers that they have for this series, mainly Akiva Goldsman, the dialogue is so bad. It feels like I'm watching an old 90s episode of Star Trek Next Generation, only much more chaotic because they decide to mix in a little metaphysics along with your sci-fi, and good God, it's fucking god awful. It really is. And also at the same time, I'm looking at Patrick Stewart and I'm going, dude, are you acting old or are you really? I mean, I know he's old, but at the same time, I'm like, shit, man, you really shouldn't be running. I want him to sit down and get a little oxygen or something like that, a little oxygen mask. The show doesn't look like 90s no, it doesn't look like it's 90s sci-fi movie for Nobi, but the dialogue is stilted and horribly bad. I mean, just horribly bad. It's painful to actually listen to. Um, the special effects, yes, are up to today's standards, but the plotting, the editing, the acting, even I'm gonna say that much as well, is horribly stilted like 90s Next Generation. It's that bad. And people were saying, I was reading reviews, everyone's going, "Oh, it's great, it's awesome," and all that stuff. No, it's not. Uh, yeah. I wasn't I wasn't thrilled by it. It did not sway me at all, uh, you know, against me getting I'm not getting CBS All Access, and I said I'm not gonna get CBS All Access just for one fucking series or one franchise, Star Trek, and this has not swayed me at all beyond that belief on that. Yeah. So that's all I'm gonna say about Picard. Um, yeah. To the contrary, I think the acting is too 2019, 2020. Really, Stanley Tweedle? You must have been watching a different show because so maybe again I'm spoiled because I've gotten good shows like Legion, Counterpart, Project Blue Book, Harley Quinn, even where the voice acting is excellent on that. And yeah, maybe it's just because there's so many other good shows that are out there. The Good Place, um, things like that. That's what's coloring my perception of what is good and what is not good. And this is not good as far as I'm concerned. Yeah. I don't mind the aliens not, being too human or anything like that. Actually, I kind of thought that was refreshing instead of them trying to do this stilted alien speak, if you will, and they actually feel like they're trying to fit in. I get where they're going with that. That was okay, but there was, it's few and far in between with that. The rest of it's just bad. I mean, the dialogue, you can tell Akiva Goldsman wrote it. It's really shitty. I mean, just you can tell what the character is going to say next, even though you've never read the dialogue or you never seen the. Yes, I'm talking about Picard, Dante S. Yes. And, yeah, it's just really bad. I mean, really, really bad. Um, God, I'm yeah. Uh, for those of you who really love it, more power to you, man. I mean, that you can actually get through it. There you go. I cannot. And it's best left on CBS All Access where it can't hurt anybody behind a paywall. So, moving on from that, I'm gonna go to the main news here. Disney is absorbing Hulu. That's right. Yes, we already knew that that was happening kind of in a way, but it's kind of accelerated now. So, the Hulu CEO, Randy Freer, has stepped down as CEO of Hulu because Disney has now taken full operational control of course, they took it last May from Comcast. They took the whole online streaming service. They took full operational control from Comcast in May. Why is this? Are you asking that they're absorbing Hulu right now instead of waiting a little while longer? Well, Comcast is owned by NBC, or actually, they own NBC Universal. NBC Universal right now is doing a little streaming service that they're putting together called Peacock. Follow me, if you will, on the steps here. So that's why Disney is planning to, as they quote unquote say, more closely integrate Hulu into its business operations, meaning that Hulu is now being looked after by there's one guy that's in charge of Disney Plus, ESPN, and now also Hulu as well. So it's all being folded under that blanket. And they already have it as part of their streaming service as it is. So, or you can link into it and everything. So absorbed like a twin in the in the womb. Kind of. Yeah. Uh Movie Fanobi says that everyone pay attention. The best mod has arrived. She's thirsty, nerdy trolls cemetery. Yeah. Uh-huh. Yes. That's right. No, Picard is not worth your time, Ben. You can go and watch it. It's up there for free on YouTube. I'm not going to stop you. I mean, but yeah, if you like really bad stilted dialogue and just you know really really easily predicted plots and things like that, go for it. Yeah. They could call it Disney minus. No, they're just going to leave it as Hulu. They own part of it anyway, as it was, and yeah, I'm not a big fan of Hulu anyway. I had it just because there was a good show that was on there, Future Man, which only has one season left. And whenever that's announced, that's pretty much all I'm gonna, resubscribe to it for is for that, and then I'm gonna end it because they have nothing else better on their station or their channel or their streaming service or whatever the fuck they're calling it now. So, yeah. Too many different pronouns is what's happening. Yeah. So what else do I have here? Oh yeah, Disney also revealed the new 20th Century Studios logo, which actually isn't bad. I mean, if you take a look at my thumbnail, I have it up there. The thumbnail for this uh, video, by the way. Um, and it's kind of retro. It kind of looks a little more Art Deco-ish. It still retains the 20th Century Fox logo, with the searchlights and everything. It just has the name Fox taken out of it, and it's now 20th Century Studios. And I'm okay with it. It doesn't look bad, and it's not, it's pretty good. Yeah. Pen Farm Girl says, I'm finally caught up almost on Sabrina. I'm halfway through the last episode. Yeah, I've got to rewatch the last episode as well. There was just too much that happened in there, and I watched it way too late at night, and I was starting to nod off. So I've got blank spots in it, but it was good. I mean, it's not great. It's not something I'm going to recommend for people, but yeah, yeah. So yeah, Stanley Twill. It's actually not bad, especially the end. I'm gonna say this much for the new Sabrina, the newest season of Sabrina. They pulled a Ash versus Evil Dead at the very end. Ash versus Evil Dead season 3 is what they did. Same kind of ending in a way, the way they did it. But then, yeah, that's all I'm gonna say. So, well, you can always go watch Picard. I'm sorry, that was bad. That was mean. I know. I'm kidding. I'm kidding. Because no one in hell wants to watch Picard. It's bad. Um, and speaking of all these mergers and shit that's going on, so MGM has announced that they have held talks with both Apple and Netflix, separately, of course, for either of those companies to acquire such properties as the James Bond library or the Rocky library. Basically, they're selling off their libraries because why is Apple and Netflix looking for this? Because they need content, they need library content as their backlog in order to compete with Disney Plus. Disney Plus is the new kid on the block, and they have come out swinging with steroid infused punches. And Netflix is feeling it right now. Netflix is the big boy, definitely, but Disney Plus really came out swinging and has beaten the shit out of Netflix quite a bit now. And Apple TV Plus, I don't see them catching up anytime soon. My merger, sure, if they have a big enough price for me, I don't mind folding into. You know, I welcome my Disney overlords if they give me enough money. So, yeah, I don't see anything on Apple TV Plus warranting me even looking at it. Even for a trial subscription, let alone uh, thinking of it as anything as a contender. It's not. Apple TV Plus is less of a contender than Fubo TV. Yeah, it really is. It's that horribly bad. And those of you who don't know what Fubo TV is, yeah, I know Fubo. I know someone goes Fubo. Yeah, Fubo TV. Take a look at it sometimes, and yeah, that's an obscure one that I'm pulling out of there. Yeah. Hey, TiVo is king of or Duke. What? No, it's not. TiVo has nothing. TiVo, all it is a hardware thing. It's not a streaming service. That doesn't even have a horse in the race at all in that one, Mr. Roboto. They are just hardware. That's it. But let's see what else we got here. Um, oh yeah. So I remember that Uncharted movie, the one that's got now I'm blanking on his name. Kid who's playing Spider-Man now. And also it's got Marky Mark from the Funky Bunch. He's in it as well. So it's been pushed back. It was supposed to be released in December of this year. It has now been pushed back to a March 2021 release date. Why is that? Probably because they lost their director number 6 in December. Yes, their 6th, number 6 director, uh, has left because of creative differences. That's right, the ever popular creative differences. So, and also, Sony in the same, release, the same press release, says they are removing Masters of the Universe completely from their schedule. And why is that? Because it's having some severe production problems. Even though they haven't lost their director, their current director that they have, he's holding on with claws, teeth, uh, toe holds, all that kind of stuff. And not going to happen. Only 32 degrees, Viking bitch. Yeah, I'm going to have to suffer here. It's going to get to 83 today. So, yeah, it's going to be hell here at 83. Uh, no, Mr. Roboto. That's a Marvel franchise. This one is a Hasbro franchise. Different franchises all the way around. So, yeah, unfortunately, I mean, I wasn't really jazzed about the whole Uncharted thing anyway. I know there's people that are fans of the game. It's a video game movie, quite honestly, and we haven't had a good video game movie yet. So, yeah. But there are 2 Transformer scripts in the works over at Paramount. If you're interested in that, there's 2 separate Transformers scripts at in the works over at Paramount. And yeah, so one is supposedly based on Beast Mode, the Beast Wars the animated franchise Beast. They had like about 15 different storylines that were happening with Transformers. It seemed like every couple of years they'd revamp it. And so I guess Beast Wars is the latest one. There's one of those scripts. And Michael Bay has finally been released from whatever blood contract that he had with Steven Spielberg. So that is over and done with. And the Dark Lord Spielberg has let go of Michael Bay from his yeah, from his directing capabilities there. So yeah, this guy Vanderbilt who's writing one of the scripts is writing other stuff too. He's like writing Zack Snyder's Army of the Dead, which I guess is a sequel to another zombie movie, I guess, at this point. Yeah, who knows? It's Zack Snyder, so no one really cares. Yeah. Um, and of course, these are Transformer movies, so no one really cares. So yes, Beast Wars is what they're doing. Uh, in hell or in the sun? That's the only just in the sun, pretty much. That's all. Yeah. All right. Um, there's but there were so many great video game movies in the past. Yeah, exactly. Name me two. Go. Um, oh, this was actually pretty good. So Netflix, again, like I said, all the news this week has all been about acquisitions and deals being signed. Not a lot of casting news or new stuff coming out, that kind of thing. It was mostly corporate stuff that was happening because it's the end. It's nearing the they're trying to get that first quarter stuff taken care of before the end of the first quarter, and that's what they're doing right now. A lot of the companies here. So Netflix has inked a deal with Titmouse Studios. Now, if you're not familiar with Titmouse Studios, they are the home of the Venture Brothers. Yeah. And the Venture Brothers, of course, That was one of their first one of their first deals was with Titmouse Studios with Venture Brothers. So they have signed a multi-year overall deal to produce multiple original adult animated series. So under the pact, Netflix will also have first look at adult animated series developed and created by at Titmouse. These are also the guys who did Big Mouth, and they have an upcoming series called The Midnight Gospel, which is coming out as well. I haven't heard much about it. But that's actually really good news. Why is that? Because the guys at Venture Brothers for the longest time have been talking about a live action Venture Brothers movie or series or something like that that they want to do. I am actually kind of jazzed about that because this is an avenue for them to go over into. Um, isn't the home of so Venture Brothers is shown on Adult Swim, but Titmouse Studios are the ones that produce it. Yes, they've always been the producers of, Venture Brothers, so they own it. Um, they also license Titmouse also does all the T-shirts and things like that, so they are the ones that sell all that stuff. Adult Swim sells nothing of Venture Brothers merchandising, it is all Titmouse Studios. Adult Swim, all they do is just show it. That's it. Yeah. The Tick was an awesome show, Mr. Roboto, so, honestly, I would rather have them do something like that again. So, yeah. Someone has to balance out the quality of, Dumb and Dumber Netflix shows. Yeah, there's, Netflix has been pumping out a lot of stuff, so they throw at least, and I've said this before, it's like 700 or 800 shows and movies, a year. So, yes, Titmouse also did, Metalopolis or however you say it. So, yes. They did do that as well, Philip A. Demick. You are correct. Yeah, I would love a live action Venture Brothers movie, to tell you the truth. It would be fucking awesome. And they would beat a live action Johnny Quest movie to market, which would be really fucking funny, considering that that's kind of what spawned Venture Brothers was Johnny Quest. Yeah. There don't you already have a live action Venture Brothers? Oh my god, I'm not even gonna touch that. Lionsgate is also developing a graphic novel called Memetic into a movie. So the graphic novel, the plot revolves around a meme of a four-fingered sloth that gives a thumbs up symbol, which is driving everyone who sees it into a violent frenzy. And of course, who's involved in producing this? Seth Rogen and Evan Goldberg. Of course they are. It sounds interesting, but also it sounds like the plot of a Monty Python sketch. The one I was actually watching Monty Python's Flying Circus. They were having a marathon on IFC, I believe it was. And one of the ones that came on, of course, was the skit about that the Allies in World War II had developed a joke that it was supposed to be the funniest joke in the world, and yes, the deadly joke. Thank you, Stanley Tweedle. Where like you have these guys that are the soldiers are running through the forest and they're reading out the joke in German, and the German soldiers are laughing themselves to death and falling over, which is hilarious, by the way. So yeah, and that's what this sounds like. Only it's meme induced, which is pretty much the same thing. So I don't know if they're gonna go comedy on this or if they're just gonna go, really dark and which they could. They can go either way on that. The German makes no sense. Well, of course it doesn't, Stanley Tweedle. It wasn't supposed to. That's the whole joke. So, all right. What else do I got here? Oh yeah. So I guess because Bad Boys Forever or For Life or whatever the fuck it's called did well, Lethal Weapon 5 is now supposedly in the works with the whole cast and crew set to return. Why, man? Why? I honestly, I don't need to see this anymore. As Mufinobi had said as well, I'm getting too old for this shit. And yes, that's exactly it. We don't need another sequel. Um, I'm just gonna paraphrase a Tina Turner song instead of "We don't need another hero. We don't need another sequel." We really don't. We don't need another sequel to this. I really don't want to see, you know, maybe they can be all wheeled out in wheelchairs, you know, and have an ambulance that drives them around to whatever the crime scene is, and maybe they can dig up Angela Lansbury. Is she dead yet? I think. Oh, I don't know. Wheel her along for the ride, maybe with a Matlock as well. Matlock. And yeah, it's yeah, we're pretty much done with this series. We don't need any more of this series. Thank you very much, but no, thank you. Yeah. No, I don't care if Danny Glover's got it or not. Danny Glover scarred me for life. He was the commencement address speaker at my college graduation, and it just happened to be hot as fucking balls that day in San Francisco. One of the rare occasions, and a lot of us got sunburned on one side of our face because Danny Glover would not shut the fuck up and get off the stage. Literally, he was just going on and rambling on, and no one really gave a shit about what he talked about. So, yeah. Good actor, good actor, not a great actor, good actor. Fucking dude needs to, like, edit down his, you know. No, Mel Gibson is, he probably just would have been off on an anti-Semitic, tirade if he was up there. Yeah. Yeah, Predator 2 is okay for what it is. But remember, that movie was what, late 90s? Yeah. Mid-90s, something like that, so you're talking about a 20-plus-year-old movie, Stanley Tweedle. A lot of people don't take into account when their movie tastes have kind of stopped. I realize this, I keep looking back at, the movies that I really like and how long ago they were. To put this in perspective, right now, the 1980s are as close to 2020 as the 1940s were to the 1980s. Put that in perspective right now, those of you that are my age or maybe even older. And you'll get to see what the mind frame is of the people that are for this shit. Yeah, it's kind of like in the 80s saying, "Oh yeah, we want to see something what is it? Another Tracy and Hepburn movie." Yeah. A lot of us don't. So bring back Angela Lansbury. Yeah. Yeah, I know you can't remember the 1940s Stanley Tweedle, but that's the whole point of this thing is that it's aged out. I want something new. Again, I don't need a fucking sequel to a 40-year-old franchise, 30-year-old franchise, whatever it is. It's probably 40 years old at this point. What Lethal Weapon was what, 1980, right? 1982, 3, something like that. So, yeah. Stat Trek? No. I don't need any more Star Trek either. I don't need any more Star Trek. I don't need any more Skywalker Star Wars. Skywalker Star Wars is dead to me now at this point. I don't care about the Skywalker family. I don't care about the Skywalker lineage. I don't care about the Palpatine lineage, any of that. Nothing about that. We don't need it. I don't need new Stargate either. I want something new. I want something fresh. Give me something that is newer that I can glom onto at this point. For God's sakes, there's enough shit out there in books. I don't need Labyrinth 2 either. Stanley Tweedle. No. Nor do I need Rocky Balboa 15. No, nor do I need Jaws 18. I don't need The Last Starfighter 2. I really don't need a new Farscape. That's for damn sure. Um, Lethal Weapon was 87. Okay, so 33 years. Yeah, 33 years is still more than enough time to not have to do another. Twins 3. Oh, there was never a Twins 2, was there, Stanley Tweedle? Oh my god. Yeah. Like I said, we don't need any more. I know I know nostalgia is king in Hollywood. I really do. But for fuck's sake, do something new. Do something a little bit fresher. Um, you know, yeah. So you're already canceling the New Adventures of Chuck Palpatine before it starts? Yeah, I am, HR. I really am. Buckaroo Banzai. I could see Buckaroo Banzai being resurrected, to tell you the truth, and redone. So if you redid Buckaroo Banzai again, younger cast, and actually do a series, the way they were going to do, that I would love to see, to tell you the truth. Yes, I know it's sacrilege. Peter Weller, Jeff Goldblum, all those guys were awesome in it, but it just never realized its potential. It died out after the first movie. So that's why it's one of those movies you could actually remake and do a series of. So, hey, ectoplasmic entity. Yeah. Oh, man. I don't wanna see well, so Bubba Hotep was supposed to have a sequel called Bubba Nosferatu with Ron Perlman, and that fell through. And, it was gonna be a different person playing Elvis, of course, at that point. I'm okay with that, but it has to be somebody in the schlock genre of, like, Bruce Campbell if you're gonna do it. Um I forget the guy who was in Reanimator, who starred in Reanimator, Jeffrey Combs. I would love to see Jeffrey Combs play, Elvis at this point, if we're gonna do another Boba Hotep or another Boba something or other, you know? Big Trouble in Little China, yes, I know, so the guy who wrote that, and now I'm blanking on his name all of a sudden, who wrote the script. Yes, he wrote the script for Big Trouble in Little China and Buckaroo Banzai. He also wrote the scripts for a lot of different 80s movies that are classic movies. See ya, Ectoplasmic Entity. Um, and yes, he is one of my favorite writers, even though I can't remember his fucking name now at the moment. It's on the tip of my tongue. I can see it. But yeah. Uh, I wouldn't have thought of Jeffrey Combs for Elvis, but he can play almost anything. So why not? Yeah. Yeah. Jeffrey Combs, I would say, would be a good replacement if you could get the right script, the right director, all that kind of stuff too. So, but no more sequels, god damn it. We don't need any more of that. So, speaking of which, in spring of 2020, an R-rated Mortal Kombat animated movie is getting released on Blu-ray and digital, if anyone cares. Uh this the excuse me. The story, the animation's really bad. They did release a trailer for it, and just the animation looks pretty horrible. I'm not really into it at this point. Yeah. Yes, he did play 3 roles on DS9 all at once. That's true. Yeah. I agree with you. I'm ready to pass on the Mortal Kombat one too. It looks bad, but I thought I'd throw it out there since there are some fans of that. Netflix has also ordered a live action One Piece series. So for those of you who don't know what One Piece is, it is a anime that's out there. It actually started off as a manga, then it became an anime series. It's very popular amongst the kids. Um, I think I saw it once a while back on Adult Swim, and I came in the middle of it. I don't know what the hell was going on, so I was like, "Yeah, okay." But yeah, they're gonna do a live action One Piece series on Netflix, which is okay, you know? No more origin stories. We already have the source of 30 plus comic book. Yeah, I know. HR. I've said it before too, especially for Marvel. Marvel can do like their one shots. They could do it on YouTube fairly easily or Disney Plus, and you can get the origin story out of the way in a half hour blurb or something like that, and get it done that way. And that way you can roll into the movie fresh with an already established hero and work with it that way instead of having to fucking work for it in a movie. You got 2 hours in a movie at most before, you start losing people. You don't need to waste 45 minutes on the origin story, quite honestly. Or as Marvel does the little flip book at the beginning, you could actually do that in the opening credits of a movie. You can actually tell the origin story in the opening credits. That's all you need to do. I mean, how many fucking times do we need to see Martha and Thomas Wayne die? How many times do we need to see Uncle Ben die? How many times do we need to see Krypton explode? You know? We really don't. Hey, Morks. Yeah. Have a good time, whatever you're doing. Yeah. Yeah. No, I don't need to see any more of those, Mr. Roboto. We really don't. Just continue on with the fucking story of, I mean, this new Batman movie with Pattinson as Batman. The more and more I'm hearing him talk about it, the more and more frightening it's sounding at this point. Just because it sounds like no one is understanding what Batman is about, and I'm not kind of jazzed about it. Every time he opens his mouth for another interview, I'm like, "Fuck, dude, you're not selling me on this at all. You're driving me away from this at this point." That and also he looks like a stick figure. He is smaller than me at this point, and supposedly he is buffed up and already filming as Batman. Yeah. I mean, the dude's arm, his bicep is about as big as my wrist. Yeah, which is not saying a lot. All right. Let's see what else we got here. Green Hornet. The Green Hornet movie is in the works again, but this time it's as a serious movie, not as a stoner comedy. And that's actually not bad. I kind of would like to see this as a live action. Well, it's already been live action, I should say, on TV, but I want to see this done right for a change. So, Amasia Entertainment, this is the banner for the former Marvel Studios president Michael Helfont and Bradley Gallo. They won the motion picture rights to it, so they are the ones that are going to be doing this. And Green Hornet actually first appeared on on radio in the 1930s, and that's kind of what propelled him into a serial in the 1940s, then on television in the 1960s, and then the really shitty Seth Goldberg movie that was done in the what was it, 2011? 2011. There we go. Cameron Diaz was in that too, and Christoph Waltz, if you remember. A lot of people do because it was a really shitty movie. So the rights finally that were controlled by Universal, they've been switching hands actually. They went over to Paramount at one point and all that stuff. The rights have finally lapsed and these guys have picked it up and they're going to make it into a movie that is actually a serious movie and not a fucking stoner comedy, which I'm okay with. There was a while there was a lot of stuff. Even Green Lantern at one point was going to be a comedy with Jack Black as Hal Jordan, if I remember correctly. And I just looked at that and like, no, no, you can't do that. No, you shouldn't be doing that. Yeah. Yeah. Wait, Green Hornet was a comedy? You might not have realized that, Mr. Roboto, but yeah, it was. It was a comedy. It was painful to watch, but yes, it was supposed to be a comedy. Yeah. And yes, the Green Hornet is supposed to be related to the Lone Ranger. You're correct, Mr. Roboto. In the storyline, in the comics, actually, they kind of related him to the Lone Ranger, that he was a descendant of the Lone Ranger. But that was only in the comics, and that was Dynamite Comics, if I remember correctly. It was either Dynamite or Boom. I can't remember which one it was. Probably Dynamite because they're the ones that usually do all that, all those kind of series. But yes, I do remember that. So Johnny Depp will be in it too. Hopefully not. His time, I think, is done in Hollywood. So I only got a couple more things to go here. Um, Owen Wilson has been cast as a quote unquote major character in the Disney Plus series Loki. Yeah. So what was I just talking about? About comedy and yeah, I know. Owen's still around. No, he hasn't killed himself as of yet. Oh, I know that was a horrible thing for me to say. Um, yes, if you're contemplating suicide, please get some help. That's all I'm gonna say that at that point. Uh yeah. But yes, he was actually contemplating suicide a couple times. So seriousness aside, I'm not really jazzed about seeing Owen Wilson in Loki. I am gonna watch the series because, as Penn Farm Girl says, yes, Loki. That's the reason why I'm watching it. I'm not watching it for any secondary or major characters or anything like that. Loki is on Disney Plus, Mr. Roboto, along with everything else that's Marvel. Because Disney owns Marvel. They have for a while now. Yeah. So you're either going to go to one of two places in order to watch stuff. It's either Disney Plus or Netflix. Those are the two right now that are going to have anything. The only thing that has anything different really is going to be CBS All Access, and all they have is Star Trek, which no one wants to watch that anyway, except for Stanley Tweedle. And you know, it's there for you to watch if you want to pay that money. Frankly, I'd pay $1 for CBS All Access per month to watch that stuff. That would be about it. Yes, it was a little chap, Stanley Tweedle. Oh, that's right. Amazon has stuff too, but honestly, I can't think of anything. Well, other than the boys, um, I'm trying to think what else Amazon's got. I mean, they got Lord of the Rings as well. Um, yeah, I bought the 3-year deal for Disney Plus as well. Yeah, DC Universe has their own stuff, but I think they're gonna get absorbed into HBO Max. I'm fairly sure they're gonna get absorbed into HBO Max. That seems to be the whole thing right now is we're having a proliferation of all these different streaming services, and at the same time, we're having a contraction of them getting sucked into these bigger streaming services. Um, Apple Plus has nothing, Mr. Roboto. I mean, it literally has 0 going for it. It has, no names going for it. I mean, yes, they're gonna have Battlestar Galactica done by, Sam Esmail. That's it. And even then, I'm like, "Eh, I could skip that one." Yeah. Apple Plus has no worthy shows. I mean, literally, nobody is talking about Apple Plus shows at all because that's how bad they are. Yeah, at least we have Epics. Yes, Dante, yes. Sam Esmail is working on Battlestar Galactica. They're rebooting the whole series again, on Apple TV Plus. I mentioned that a while back. I haven't heard anything about it lately. That's the reason why there's been no news on it. So, yeah. Oh, I refuse. Yeah, I'm not gonna watch any new Battlestar Galactica. Honestly, the way the last series ended kinda pissed me off, and I'm just not in the mood to watch another one. Again, I don't need to see a third iteration of a series that was done 40 years ago. This is the third time Battlestar Galactica is being done. They tried doing tried doing another one. Richard Hatch tried getting one done in the 90s and it never happened. So this was the first one that the Ronald D. Moore one was the second iteration of it. Yeah, another show about androids, exactly. Yeah. I wasn't a big fan of the ending. Computers are bad. Run away. That just kind of was like, all right, sure. Uh, don't get me started on that one. Anyway, some good news though. So Linda Hamilton is going to join Alan Tudyk on Sci-Fi's soon-to-be canceled Resident Alien in a recurring role as a general who is the head of a some kind of task force within the military that is hunting aliens. Excuse me. So she's going to be hunting Alan Tudyk's character. Yes, this is Linda Hamilton from Terminator that we're talking about. So, yes, she has just signed on as a general, which I thought was kind of interesting. Canceled because it's on Sci-Fi Pen Farm Girl. That's why I call it soon to be canceled. It's on Sci-Fi. It's science fiction, and it's based on a comic book. It's got the trifecta going for it. Also, Alan Tudyk's in it too, so that does kind of, jinx it as well. Pretty much anything with Alan Tudyk in it gets canceled. Like, unless he's just doing the voice, I guess. I guess Harley Quinn will. I don't know. We'll see how that goes. I mean, he was on Powerless as well, the CBS show that got canceled. But that was just kind of a horrible show too. It was funny. It had some funny moments. But yeah. So Sci-Fi doesn't cancel everything. Yeah, Sci-Fi doesn't cancel everything. The Magicians fucking lasts forever. Good God. That show is like the same show over and over and over again. Um, well, Doom Patrol's got the second season supposedly coming out. Yeah. And they're probably just going to move it over to HBO Max, like I said. Yeah. It really, it really doesn't need to be canceled. It's a good show. And I think it made the most, it made the most lists out of the best shows of 2019. No, I'm not a Magician fan, Mr. Roboto. God, that show is just horribly bad. So that used to be on before, I think, Happy or Deadly Class or something like that. So I'd have it running, and I remember I'd watch a part of it, and I'm like, "Wow, this show is just really, really insufferably bad." And yeah, see ya, Ejar. Yeah, but yeah, there we go. And my final bit of news that I've got, and somehow I missed this one. I don't know how, but the Falcon and Winter Soldier is going to premiere in August of this year on Disney Plus. That's right, August. They're going to be the first one, of course, of the Marvel series that appears, and then, of course, we're going to have WandaVision that happens in fall. And I'm happy about that, to tell you the truth. That is going to be some good stuff. Yeah. Excuse me. So there you have it. Yeah, I'll be watching it too. Exactly. It's gonna be good. It looks like it's gonna be fun. They're gonna have Baron Zemo in his Baron Zemo costume, finally, for a change. They're gonna have Wyatt Russell as US agent. Um We have Clone Wars, season 7 is coming out on Disney Plus. Before that, comes out in February, this month. I'll be covering it because they're gonna do it episode by episode. Thankfully, they're gonna do it episode by episode, so yes, I am gonna be doing it episode by episode reviews. Um, what else do they have coming out? Um, I don't know what's between now and then. What's between now and August? Uh, so we'll see. I have no idea. I know they're gonna make a major announcement at D23, which most likely I'm gonna attend that because I didn't get into Comic-Con. Um, I got into WonderCon with a press badge, but I did not get into Comic-Con this year. So, I will not be attending Comic-Con. I will not see the panels for Comic-Con. Unlike the rest of you, I will see it online as everyone else does. So, I tried, but didn't happen. Um, but it's kind of funny that I got press passes for WonderCon, uh, which is like, all right, sure. I might go one day because Disneyland is literally right across the street, and I'm going to buy some SoCal passes, which are uh, discounted, and SoCal resident passes, and just go into Disneyland. No, I'm not paying for the WonderCon passes, Mr. Roboto. They gave me them for free. That's what the press pass is for. So based on what I'm doing right now, I actually submitted my Saturday morning blast off um, podcasts here, and they looked at those and they gave me the WonderCon passes, but they didn't give me the Comic Con pass, even though I believe you pay for the Comic Con pass, if I'm not mistaken. Yes, Disneyland is exactly, literally right across the street from the Anaheim Convention Center. So for a while there, when WonderCon first moved down from San Francisco, which is where it used to be, to Anaheim, Disneyland did the evil thing. They would say, if you had a WonderCon pass, we'll give you half off ticket prices to Disneyland. Just come on over and show us your pass. And so people would buy a $20 WonderCon pass and get like $50 or $80 off of the Disneyland pass and go in. Yeah. Yes, I'm going to be covering Altered Carbon. I am going to be covering Lock and Key and Clone Wars, but not Briar Patch. Briar Patch is not going to be genre related. Stanley Tweedle. See, I was under the impression that Mr. Robot was genre related, as you know, time travel and blah blah blah. But obviously, it wasn't. That was just Sam Esmail fucking with us on that one. And Briar Patch, I'm not gonna. I think it's a one and done series, if I'm not mistaken. I don't think they're gonna do a season 2 on that one. But Clone Wars, yes, Clone Wars looks fucking amazing. That's what happens when you have 4 years in order to retool a whole season. Yeah. So when they, initially had, canceled, or, yeah, when they canceled Clone Wars from, what was it, Disney XD, then they had that last season in the can ready to go, and they released what was left of season 6 on Netflix. And then a couple of years ago, they started mentioning that they were going to bring out this next season of Clone Wars, and which was already in the can. A lot of people knew that it was already in the can, so they retooled some of it a bit, and worked on some of the animation too, and whatnot. Yeah. Don't be so picky, Dennis. Crime is a genre too. It is, but it's not the genre that I'm looking for, which is sci-fi, fantasy, sometimes horror, but mostly sci-fi, fantasy, and superheroes and stuff like that. I try to maintain my genre-ness, if you will, on that. I'm not too big on crime or anything like that, the crime series. If I was gonna do that, then I would just do all the CSIs. That would be enough to keep me in, podcasts for, like, 5, 6 days a week. Yeah. Yeah, I haven't watched any of Fargo, Stanley Tweedle, but yeah, I will. So, where am I at? Oh, well, it's gonna be a shorter one today. It's only gonna be like an hour long, which is good. That's fine. Yeah. Um, My Dark Materials is Golden Compass. I don't understand, Mr. Roboto. Sorry. Raymond K. Hessel says, do you do throwback reviews of older movies? Sometimes. Raymond K. Hessel. I haven't done it recently, but yeah, I might do some stuff. I've been threatening Hell Comes to Frogtown for a while there, but I can't find it any place that's free. I don't want to buy it, quite honestly. Is George Lucas? Yeah, he's done with Clone Wars. He has nothing to do with any of that. George Lucas isn't. He comes on. He basically comes over to the Star Wars sets every now and he visits, and then he imparts some wisdom. He goes because he looks at whatever they're doing to his baby, and they're like, I wouldn't have done that. Is what I've heard. So when he visited J.J. Abrams on set, I guess there's a couple things that he told him. He's like, I wouldn't have done that. This is what I would have done. And J.J. Abrams like, okay, great. Let's change that right now while you can. Um, so yeah. Dresden Files was as close as I like to detective genre. Yeah, I agree with you. Pen Farm Girl on that. Is Pepper my she is a demon, Mr. Roboto. She's not my demon for all intents and purposes, but she is a demon of some sort. She's actually lying there right now on the couch, looking at nothing but her eyes are open, which is really kind of freaky. And I don't know what she's got going on there. A lot of hipsters consider Michael Mann a genre director. Um, no, he's not. No, no, he's not. There is a Michael Mann genre, is what it is, but there is no. He is not a genre director. So, The Outsider is crime and genre too. No, I don't do Stephen King. Stanley Tucci. I'm not a fan of Stephen King. I'm sorry for you guys that are. Um, I'm just not. I can't do it. Castle Rock to me is just fucking boring, and I don't even want to attempt The Outsider, even though it's got Jason Bateman in it, who's one of my favorite actors. But it's Stephen King. Just can't do it. Yeah. Uh, you like season 2 of Castle Rock? Yeah, I heard season 2 is good. It's just yeah, I'm not with. There is so much stuff out there right now that I have trouble keeping up with what I have going on now. As a matter of fact, I've got to finish up The Good Place because The Good Place season finale happened this week, or series finale, I should say. Series finale, yeah. And I want to see how it all ended. So I got that last episode. No, I never did see Ozark on Netflix, Viking Bitch. I know it was Jason Bateman. I heard it's really good. I heard it's excellent. I just haven't caught up. I think it's in my queue as a matter of fact, and I never did get caught up to it. Yeah, I finally caught up to the Arrowverse. I watched the series finale of that, and yeah, all I can say is, my God, what the fuck? They introduce something to an existing character that was in the Arrowverse, and I'm not going to say what. So, yeah, after a lot of teasing, they finally introduced something, but they don't call it out specifically, which is kind of what Arrow does. Yeah. Yeah, I kind of figured it's going to be sappy. Stanley Twiddle. I'm okay with that. I mean, that's really a lot of the episodes are sappy. They really are. And well, they really did kind of end the series the episode before the last episode, and this I kind of figured was their goodbye kind of thing, is what they were gonna do, and I'm okay with that. I really am. I'm still skeptical. I was still, at the end of the penultimate episode, I was skeptical as to what was going on, but I don't know. You're now scared for Green Lanterns on HBO Max? Um, well, it's gonna be the Green Lantern Corps, Agent Future. So they're gonna have they're not just gonna I don't think they're gonna focus on just one Green Lantern. I think they're going to do like a Green Lantern, like the history of the Green Lanterns kinda thing is what they're gonna do. It's usually 30 minutes long, Stanley Tweedle, The Good Place. They're, 30-minute, 22-minute long episodes without commercials. So, yeah, I kinda figured the last one was gonna be an hour long, which is fine. Guy Gardner is most likely not gonna be in there. Ed Brewer says, "Hey, MGM is a huge prize." So, they're not selling off MGM, Ed Brewer, they're selling off their library, is what they're selling off. Just their library, not the, studio or anything like that. So, hey, guys, I'm gonna let you guys go. What else do I got going on? Tomorrow is gonna be Avenue 5. We'll see if that's clears up anything at all. Monday is gonna be Is It Worth My Time? And it's gonna be October Faction is what's gonna be going on there. And Tuesday is gonna be Project Blue Book. Wednesday and Thursday, I'm off. Friday is Harley Quinn, and we come back all the way around again to Saturday Morning Blast Off. Thank you, everybody. Thank you to everyone who joined me today in the chat, I should say. Thank you if you made it this far in the video. If you're still on the fence about joining up, you're going to see the very end of this video, a video pop up here. Basically, what YouTube does, takes the algorithms of all the stuff you've been watching and tries to match it as best as possible to one video in my vast video library and pops up there just for you. Up here is going to be Harley Quinn. And remember to like, share, and subscribe down there. My schedule, as Penn has put up there, is on suspendedfanimation.com. It's also my Facebook page. So, thanks, everybody. I will see you again tomorrow for Avenue 5. Until then, don't let the door hit your ass on the way out. Otherwise, you may get absorbed by Disney, Netflix, Hulu, MGM, Apple TV Plus, Netflix. I don't know. Any of those streaming services. Thanks, everybody. Have a good rest of your day, and I will see you tomorrow.